So I'm studying BCOM Accounting. I have actually just finished it last year. That is a 3-year degree. And this year I am going to be studying my postgraduate diploma in accounting, which is 1 year. My major in my field of studies is BCOM Accounting. You don't generally have any other majors, specifically in BCOM Accounting. But if you do want to study something else like finance, economics, different types of things, you can do become general. That's where you have different types of majors. You can do 2 majors, 1 major. So generally become accounting only majors in accounting. So I did accounting, geography, and business studies in high school, as well as pure maths. First and foremost, accounting in high school and accounting in campus is the same. I would say the same in first year. However, the years progress, it does get very different. But having a foundation for accounting in high school and knowing and understanding the basics of accounting always helps in the future years, because everything is based on the same principles that you've always learned in high school, which is your journal entries, your AOL, your basic asset disposal. A lot of things are based on those, especially journal entries. I mean, we still do journal entries up till now. Knowing what to debit and credit is very important. So, yes, accounting really helped. And I also did business studies, which actually helped a lot. Business studies helped with management, and it does help with law as well in some aspects. So that was really helpful as well. As well as maths. Maths really helped because in first year we did a maths module, which was done in first semester. And in second semester we did a stats module, which was also really helpful because you do probability and distribution and a whole lot of things with stats. So obviously you have a prior knowledge of it with maths, so that also really helps. But being able to apply for this become accounting, you do have to do pure maths, so it is a requirement to enter into ukzn while doing pure maths. So it helps a lot. A lot of the subjects helps a lot. I mean, something that I would really consider doing was economics, because that would have probably really helped as well if you're really looking into the commerce field. But that wasn't offered at my school, so I did choose geography instead. First year BCom Accounting, I did 10 modules, which was 5 modules for each semester. In the first semester, we did accounting, economics, ISTN, which was IT, basically, maths, and management. Accounting is the fundamentals of your grade 11 and 12 work, as well as partially grade 10 work. So it's a very introductory module. It's very basic. If you understood what you were doing in high school, you would definitely be able to understand and crack what was going on in accounting 101. The tests were still also easy, and the lecturers were really good, so that also helped a lot. Economics, I always felt like personally on my level, it was a bit hard because I didn't do economics at high school, so I didn't have like an idea about what exactly was going on. It is a lot to grasp, it's a lot to understand, and you do it in second year, so you have to build on that knowledge and make sure that you understand what's going on in the first year. Otherwise, everything in second year is a build up on what you've learned in the first year. So I do consider going for lectures, making sure that you do your tats. They're very helpful. Understanding each concept, because the concepts are always, added on. So that was slightly harder than all of the other modules, in my personal opinion. IST, it's called IST for business, that's IT. It's basics, it's mostly theory. We do a lot of theory on IT for businesses for accounting. It was easy. It was not hard. The difficulty level was easy. And it was also very interesting. The next one is maths. Maths was amazing. Maths was honestly my favorite subject from first year. It is obviously a slight build up on what you've learned in your high schooling career. It is slightly different because you do different things, but it's a very interesting course, and I feel like if you do go for all your lectures, and when I say all, I mean all of your lectures, you will definitely do well in that module. The lecturers are amazing, so I really enjoyed that subject. And the last one for semester 1 is management. Now, management is also very basic. If you did business in high school, you'd have no trouble with that. Business in high school and management are very similar. Concepts are very similar. A lot of things are very similar there. So yes, that was also quite easy. In second semester, we did accounting, economics, ISTN, law, and stats. Firstly, accounting 102, it was obviously a slight build up, but obviously different concepts, and it was not so bad. It was also very introductory, but it was definitely slightly harder than accounting 101 because they are obviously trying to move us towards second year. And then we go to macroeconomics. Now, in first semester, we did microeconomics. And then in second semester, you do macroeconomics. Now, they are very different. A lot of people grasp concepts very differently. Economics is very vast. So microeconomics, I personally honestly found it harder. I found macroeconomics a lot easier. It's just your preference. My personal experience was that macroeconomics was a lot easier, and it was a lot easier to grasp the concepts and the ideas behind the whole situation. ISTN was also the same thing. You do have to go for practicals. It is a lot of theory, so it is theory and practicals. And then we started off by doing law. Law was also very basic. It was a very interesting course because we learned a lot about law for accounting. It was commercial law. So it was not a basic law subject. It was specifically about accounting. So it was very interesting to understand basic concepts, and it helped us along the way. And then we did stats. Stats was also, it was not very easy, but it was very interesting. It was a lot about stuff like probability that you would have done in high school. That was also something that you'd have to make sure that you understand, and you have to make sure that you go for lectures, because going for lectures is the most important thing. So yes, that was my first year. So in BCOM Accounting in second year, you do 9 modules. 5 modules in the first semester and 4 modules in the second semester. So in the first semester, we do accounting, business ethics, macroeconomics, business enterprise law, and Zulu. In the second semester, we also do financial accounting, we do auditing, managerial accounting and finance, and intermediate microeconomics. So let's start off with financial accounting in the first semester. That is a huge jump from first year. It is a huge jump. It is a big change, and there's a lot of new concepts to learn. Deferred tax. Always remember deferred tax because it was very hard to understand. We start off doing taxation, and once you learn that, then you do deferred tax. So it was a very big subject in second year. Business ethics was also not very easy. It was also a very big jump because it was something new that we started doing. But it was very interesting, and you have to make sure that you answer very precisely and not beat around the bush. That's something that's very important. Then we go to macroeconomics. As I said, it is slightly better because it's a jump from second semester macroeconomics in first year to first semester in second year macroeconomics. So you already have your first year concepts very fresh in your mind, and you understand your concepts. You'll be fine in the second year with macroeconomics. I really enjoyed that course. That was very nice. The lecturers were very amazing. So I really enjoyed that. And then we come to business enterprise law. That was also kind of a build on the first year law that we did in second semester. It was also very basic. It was very fun to learn about because it was something that was used in our everyday lives. So it was very interesting. And then we did Zulu. So it's an introductory Zulu. It's a very basic Zulu. It was fun. It was very fun. And that was also an easy subject. And then we come to second semester. So we also did financial accounting again. And obviously, yes, more concepts introduced, a lot harder than first year. So it was the same thing. Now we get to the real subjects. We started doing auditing. Auditing is one of the basic fundamentals when you do BCOM Accounting. So auditing was a massive change, and it was something where it was a huge learning curve for a lot of students. You had to answer precisely. You are applying your knowledge. You are not learning stuff and saying, okay, I'm going to write it down. You're learning to apply your knowledge in a test. And then we have managerial accounting and finance, that's math. That module wasn't also an introductory module, but it's a basic fundamental. I think the most important thing with that subject as well was going for your lectures, because we had an amazing teacher and she was very good at what she did. And I think that really helped with managerial accounting. And then lastly, we did microeconomics. That was also very amazing lecturers. So that also really helped to make it a lot more comfortable for our year. So in third year, we did 8 modules, which was 4 modules per semester. It was accounting, auditing, managerial accounting and finance, and taxation. So those were the same for both the semesters. So obviously this year was undoubtedly the hardest year. It was very time consuming. It was a lot of stress, especially because we were at home. So it was a lot of challenges, but obviously if you go for your lectures, you do your tasks, you make sure that you understand the concepts and you're not left behind, you will be okay. So we did financial accounting. That was a big jump from second year as well, because obviously we learned a lot of new things again. And it was also a lot of the old stuff and build up on some of those concepts. It was very interesting. Then we come to auditing. Auditing was very hard again. Auditing is generally hard. It's a lot to remember. So yes, auditing was also very hard, but it is manageable. You just have to understand and listen to your lecturers. Managerial accounting and finance, it just automatically became really hard. I found that for the first semester, my hardest subject. Personally, that was me, because not everybody is the same. But from my personal experience, I found that the hardest, because the way the tests were set was very different from what obviously we did at campus, because it was online. So it was a bit of a challenge. And then we did taxation. Taxation was very lovely. It's very interesting. It's obviously our South African tax, so it's very interesting to learn how a person is taxed, and how relief is worked out and whatever. So very interesting. This is the first time that you start doing tax in third year. And then in second semester, we did financial accounting again as well. Very hard. A lot of time taken up. But everything overall was great. It's just that you've got to understand the concepts, and I feel like you've got to make sure that you're taking enough time to go over stuff again. Don't just do it once and say, I'm done. You've got to understand what you're doing. We had a few group projects that I could remember of. In first year, we had an accounting group project, which was around 10 people, I think. It was about a business plan, I think. I honestly cannot remember. It's been so long ago, but it was quite a few people, and I think it was something similar to financial statements and a business plan. And in second year, we also did a group project on economics that was about the things that we were currently learning about curves and stuff. That was consisting of 3 people. So those are mainly the group projects that we did. But after second year, we were at home. So I'm not sure whether in normal circumstances there would be more group projects. So yeah, those were the only 2 group projects that we've done. So there is a big difference between BCOM Accounting and BCOM General, even with the requirements for applying. So for BCOM Accounting, you need 60% for maths, and General, you need 50% for maths. So obviously, in BCOM Accounting, you're basically majoring in accounting. So that is what you're doing your 3 years to get your degree. In BCOM General, you can major in other stuff. So you can major in ISTN, you can major in finance, you can major in economics. There are different things that you can major in. You can also even do double majors in BCOM General. So there is definitely a big difference between the two. So something that I had wished that I'd known would be obviously the textbooks. They're extremely thick and it's also very expensive. So I would suggest saving up or making sure that you have enough funds to buy textbooks because you do need them, and especially in third year, you need legislation. So those are very important to have the text that they recommend because that's what you'll be using in lectures and in tests because we take those books to our test venue in third year. And also something that I didn't wish that I have known, but it's something very important, that it does take a very long time to become a fully qualified chartered accountant. So obviously you have to do your 3-year degree, which is your BCOM Accounting degree. Then you have to apply for your postgraduate diploma in accounting, and once you've completed that, you will start working as a trainee in one of the firms, and you will do that for 3 years. And in those 3 years, you write 2 board exams, which is your ITC and your APC exams. One is at the first year, and one is at the third year. So those are extremely tough. They're extremely challenging because it takes into account a lot of different things, and it's very vastly changing from what it was previously to what it is now. So yes, it does take a very long time to become a fully fledged chartered accountant. So there are a lot of opportunities with regards to getting a bachelor's degree in BCom Accounting. I'll talk specifically about my route and what I've actually done. So I basically am currently doing my postgraduate diploma in accounting this year. Once you have actually graduated with your postgrad, in January, you do your first board exam, which is your ITC. So this is done by SICA. So obviously from there, you moving towards the CA route. But obviously, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go down that route. There are many routes that you can go down. So you can do management accounting, which is a CMA route. There are some other routes I am not exactly sure about, but those are the 2 main routes that I know about. And you can obviously do tax. So there are a lot of things that you can do. And once you do your ITC, which is your first board exam, you'll start your training contract with one of the firms that you've applied to. And then you'll write your second board exam at the end of the 3 years that you've done your contract with that firm. And once you've done your 3 years, you write your second board exam, and you will become a qualified CA once you pass the second board exam. So it is obviously a very long journey. It is actually a 7-year journey, excluding any humps and bumps. So yes, it does take a very long time to actually become a fully qualified CA, but after 4 years, you do start working. And if you don't want to do your postgrad as well, you can still obviously do your bachelor and get a bachelor's degree, and once you've done that, you can start working. I know of a relative, and she's working. You see, the difference is you work as an internal auditor, which means when you get your bachelor's degree, you work as an internal auditor you can work for almost any company that requires an internal auditor. They do stuff that's specific to that company. We are external auditors, so that means that we will be assigned different types of clients by the company that we're working for, and we will audit their company's financial statements. So in that way, that is the difference between doing obviously your bachelor's and your postgrad. Obviously it comes with more stress, a lot more work, a lot more hours, I would assume. But obviously, everything is different between the two because you have a different NQF level. So also, you can do, once you become a CA, you can like branch out into a lot of different things. You don't have to do auditing. You can do tax. You can work at SARS. You can work at the bank. You can work at a financial institution. There's a lot of things that you can do. So there are a lot of career opportunities by actually becoming a CA. And actually, I was listening to my lecturer a few days ago, and he says that there's actually only around 50,000 CAs in like South Africa. So he says that there is an actual need for chartered accountants in South Africa because yes, it is hard, and yes, it is a long road, but Not a lot of people are able to make it there, which is something that is a bit scary, but it's just about continuous effort and putting your mind to it. That's all. So in first year, modules are not so time consuming. It doesn't take a lot of time to do the modules because you are at that basic level, and if you have an understanding previously from accounting grade 12, you will be okay. You will be able to get through first year. So first year, yes, it's not very time consuming. You do have a lot of time for yourself and a lot of time to enjoy, your first year experience, because everyone wants to enjoy their first year experience. I mean, it's something different, obviously. Second year is where it bounces up a bit. I would think that accounting does take a lot of time. I think that was one of the time consuming modules in second year. And then we were introduced to math. Math was quite amazing in second year. That was in second semester. And ethics was also time consuming. So there were a few modules that was time consuming. Other than that, you did Zulu and stuff. So that, took away from the pressure. And third year is when you start your big four. So yes, very, very time consuming. A lot of time is needed to finish work. But I suggest being ahead of the week's lecture. Yes, and I mean, it does take a lot of time to be able to understand new concepts. And I currently just started PGTA, and I will tell you that we already had orientation with our lecturers, and yeah, they tell you a lot of good tips, and they tell you that, always be ahead of what you're doing. Make sure that you do your work properly, that you mark your stuff, because I think that actually becomes a shortfall, especially in auditing. Marking your work is very important, especially in auditing, because if you don't mark your work, you won't understand where you went wrong. And being able to formulate sentences and to being able to understand a scenario and being able to take like a short scenario and make like 13 points from it, it's not easy, because you get 1 mark for 1 point, one valid point. So it's not as simple as you think it is. So yes, fourth year is going to be obviously very time consuming. Probably will let you guys know at the end of the year, if Kiara allows me to. My advice to you, if you want to major in accounting, is it's a long process, it's a long road towards your becoming a chartered accountant. It's just that you have to make sure that you work continuously. You don't fall behind, because falling behind makes you drown. That is exactly what happens when you don't do your work on time. And that is why I always feel like when I'm doing my work, I'm always ahead of what's happening this week, to make sure that if there is any problems, any type of, sometimes you don't feel well, sometimes you're under the weather, sometimes, there's a problem at home or something like that, that you are ahead, you're not behind. Just remember that, anybody can do it. Nothing is impossible. It's just that you need to be hard working. You need to make sure that you work hard. You do your work on time. You do your tasks on time. You make sure that you understand your work. Don't let anything fall behind. If you don't understand something, consult with your friends, consult with your lecturer. They are there for a reason. Especially even your friends. Sometimes your friends can teach you stuff better than the lecturer can, because they understand you on that same level. And that happens a lot. It's just all about working smart. So work smart, do your work, make sure you attend your lectures. Also, attending your lectures is very important. You have to be able to sit through those lectures, because they are very long, and you do get you do wander off. I mean, that's happened to me many times, but I mean, now with online, you can go back and revisit your lectures. So I guess that's good and bad in some sense. It comes with its pros and cons.